Welcome to the third video in this series. This is lighting and rendering. This video is not as long as the previous video. There are some sped up bits in this video, but hopefully I don't speed it too much where you can't follow along. So let me know how you like this better, okay? So this is a much shorter video. This is roughly around, I believe, about 20 minutes or so. Honestly, I'm not sure. But hopefully you will learn how to light and render. Please pay close attention, and then at the end, tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. But right now, let's get into lighting and rendering this Hulk Gladiator piece. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have the lighting come pretty much, maybe the same way as the Thor one, coming down this way. Okay, so coming down this particular way here. Okay, top down. So I'm going to start going ahead and spotting some blacks using the Sharpie. Okay, so let's get going with that right now. At the same time, trying to think about all the different so again, just thinking about where, how the light would hit the particular character here. So, add a little bit of darkness in his mouth. Okay, even here, this part here would cast a shadow. Okay, now in theory, like this should cast a shadow too on this side, but I kind of don't want to put this in black. So you pick your spots. You're the artist. You can decide where blacks go and where it doesn't, but at the same time it just has to make sense. So I'm going to do this first. Go around here like so. Okay. Then adding some darks here where the ribs are. Maybe a little bit more underneath this arm here. Okay, let's go down here to where these abs are. Because a lot of this would be covered by shadow, like inside here, it would be. Okay, just like that. I probably would add a little bit of shadow here, maybe here. There will be shadow under this arm. Just like so. So all of this really would be in shadow. So you really got to pick your spots here. Got to figure that out. Where's the shadow going to go? But also you have to decide where you're going to put these veins. Because the veins would highlight. Now if you want to add more veins later, you could always grab some white out later on. Okay, because we're going to grab some white out later on to fix some of this. Okay, that's really up to you. So you got shadow hitting the top of the leg here, and it would probably go underneath, like this. So a lot of everything that's underneath this particular leg would probably be in shadow. There you go. Now, let me just take a look, see at this particular. So I'm also thinking like some of this would be in shadow here. Okay. And even here, some of this would be in shadow right here. This would cast a shadow right there. To help us separate these two here, like that. So just adding more blacks to this particular area here. Again, always thinking in my mind, the light is coming from the top left. So what is covered in shadow? What will actually cast a shadow? So that's what I'm thinking of. Now of course Hulk is very muscular, so under these quads are very round and big, so for sure they would have shadow. That's why I put a line there, and then just pretty much going around and trying to figure out what's in shadow, which muscles, where would there be shadow on the muscles, cast shadow in this instance, because I'm not cross hatching yet. I'm just trying to spot the blacks. We call this spotting the blacks. So you see here under the leg, a lot of that would be in shadow because the light for sure would cast a shadow from the calf, right? So underneath the lower part of that leg there would be a cast shadow there. Also taking the opportunity to just add a little bit more detail to his little sandals here, and because of the material too. That's another reason why I'm shading it that way. Okay, and of course shadow on the other side of that mohawk, really reinforcing the light is coming from the direction of that particular arrow there. Okay, also adding shadow underneath the little hammer, big hammer that the Hulk has. There you go. As well as underneath here and the side. Okay, so this is how far I got with just spotting blacks. Okay, it's not the cleanest. But you could definitely clean up some of these lines here. So again, this is totally cool if you wanted to stop here. If you wanted to stop here, if you were happy with this, and then you could go either start, coloring with Copic markers, or if you want to scan this in, color it in Photoshop, by all means. Like, this is totally acceptable, and you could go ahead and do that. Now, I'm just going to go take it just the extra mile here, and I'm going to start using my cross-hatching technique. Again, this is for gradation of light around. So I'm going to go in with probably a 3 micron and a 5 micron, and go around and start adding some cross hatching just so we could feel the gradation of light over everything. So we're going to do the cross hatching and then finish it off with a whole bunch of little details. So let's do that right now. Okay, so now here we go, starting the cross hatching process. Now, before I even get into that, I just wanted to reinforce these lines here for the veins, because Hulk's got a lot of veins, as I explained before. So light hits veins, so the light should, there should be shadows underneath. So right now I'm just also accentuating the muscle fibers by thickening up those lines just a tad. And now I'm getting into the actual cross hatching. So actually this part here is actually not cross hatching, this is hatching. Regular hatching. Of course, cross hatching is when you actually cross the lines. But I just wanted a sense of gradation around these muscle fibers here. So that's why I add all these quick little lines, straight parallel lines to these different areas here. So right now here on the traps, okay, and here in the chest, here on the side, you know, just working my way around, just trying to think how the light would wrap around all of these different muscle fibers here. So working on that right now on the other side of his head where the shadow is. Sometimes I use the cross hatching just to complete the form, but in this case here I'm pretty much just going around all the muscles, trying to make them feel rounder, you know. And that's one thing that hatching does. It does make all the muscle, it can, you know, make everything feel much more roundish. That's the case. So as you can tell here, working on shading the abs here. But you notice if there's a different material, I would sometimes shade it differently. So as you notice, like for example, well, right here I'm working on the quads. But for example, when I was working on the abs, you notice I did not touch the straps with the cross hatching. So the lighting's different, mainly because the material is different. So that's why I shade that a little bit differently. But here I am going around the leg again with the light coming from the top left, hitting the top of the leg there. And now here I am, and with the light coming from the top left, of course, the shadow will cast from the little mohawk that he has going on there. So, like I said before, like here I'm actually inking the straps, as you see here. Because it's a different material, I'm going to actually render it differently. Okay, because I want it to have that feel. Like for example, that's leather, and his shoulder pad there, that is for the most part metal, if I'm not mistaken, right? His little hammer and axe, those are metal. Right here, this piece of clothing here, it's more leather. So that's why I decided to give it more color. Also because I know it will probably be a darker color than his skin. That's why I would make that pretty much all completely black. Here, unfortunately, you can't see me inking the toes. But here I am, I'm blacking out the fingers. Again, thinking about the lighting on the top left. Okay, so thinking like those parts would be in shadow. So I'm not afraid to darken those things, black those out. It's very David Finch, Stephen Plattish, right? So as you can tell here, I'm just thinking, where is that light hitting, and then what kind of shadow will it cast? How will it affect those particular surfaces? So you really, really, really got to think in 3D whenever you're doing something like this. You know, it's just so you could really feel that form. At the end of the day, that's what this hatching defines, and its form. Now you'll also see me add little nicks and scratches, like I'm doing here, well, right there, like adding a little bit of scratches there, a little bit extra hatching lines. All that is to dirty it up a little bit. Nothing is perfect. Nothing in the world is perfect. So, you know, everything has nicks and scratches. So by adding those, it just brings a whole other dimension to the characters. I find anyway, for my particular style here, you'll find I'll add some of those nicks and scratches on this particular hammer here. Right now I'm just finishing off the lines. Okay, so I filled in, I did a lot of the cross hatching, and of course, looking at it right now, like even now I'm gonna add in, you know, just a little bit more black underneath here. So now I'm gonna add some like nicks and scratches to it, and I think that will help kind of bring everything together. It's a technique I learned from watching guys like Dave Finch and Stephen Platt. They add all these little nicks, and what it does is it helps things be a little less perfect, because the world we live in, it's not perfect, as you guys know. It's not, you know, there's no clean lines, there's no, you know, there's nothing completely clean. Things get pretty dirty after a while, so like little nicks, scratches here and there. Okay, so I'm gonna add those type of things, add a little bit more detail in the face, and then we're gonna call it a day. All right? And there you have it. That is my Hulk, my Gladiator Hulk. A lot of fun to do. I liked how this turned out way better than my Thor one did. I think drawing it a little bit bigger kind of helped. But this was a ton of fun to do. So again, honestly, when it comes to all the rendering, it's really up to you how you want to do it. If you want to stay simple, if you want to add all these little things, because sometimes even with all the lines, some might find it's too much for them. It's too much for them. Like even now, I'm here, I'm looking now, I'm even adding a little bit more to it right now, just because I feel like it. But that's really up to you at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, it's your artwork. It's whatever you're happy with, whatever style that you like to go with that. But also at the end of the day, what's the most important is not the actual rendering itself. It's the construction underneath. As soon as you get your construction sound, the better your artwork is going to look. Thank you so much for watching this entire Hulk Gladiator series. This was a lot of fun to do, and I love the way that this turned out, this Hulk Gladiator turned out, so thank you guys for watching. I would love to hear your suggestions on how I can make these tutorials better. Please do let me know in the comments down below. The next one up is Loki next week, still for Thor Ragnarok, so we're having a lot of fun with this Thor Ragnarok series, so I hope you get ready for that. And again, once again, I would love to see your drawings. I would love to see what you did with these tutorials. If you follow along, tweet them to me at Box Office Artist, Instagram me, tag me at Box Office Artist. I would love to see them, and in fact, if you can, please continue to follow me on all social media, all of them listed down below. Don't forget, once again, to check out the Box Office Artist podcast on iTunes and all your favorite podcatchers, Play Store, your favorite podcatchers. And once again, if you leave a comment down below, I will answer them on my show, The James Rays Show, on my second channel, youtube.com/James Rays. But I am James Rays, I am the Box Office Artist, and I'm here to say keep drawing, and I'll see you all tomorrow.